Finally.
This is actually very hilarious.
This isn't that together that you didn't want to do before. Now you've done it.
What was the need?
Never told you.
Why do we not just do this before?
I don't know.
Welcome everybody to the friendship series. This is the first episode in our maiden. It's not actually maiden. It's not actually maiden. Okay, I would probably tell the story later on in the future. But we've done this friendship series before when this brand was still known as This Girl and God. And it's something, it's a topic that kept on coming, just showing that it's something that's really important in the now, and it's something that I guess a lot of people are still yet to get it right or crack something. So that's why we're doing this again. That's why we're doing, and I don't think that we can even ever completely finish talking about something. I think there's always more to uncover. So once again, thank you everybody for coming. Hi Yanu, hi Sholape, I see you guys. Thank you so much. Kindly share the link on all your social media platforms. Invite your friends, post it on your status, post it on your stories. Invite everybody because tonight is going to be amazing. I'm so excited and I'm so sure. Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to add up our guests now. And while we're waiting for them, while we're waiting for both our guests, I'm just going to be giving us a brief introduction to them. So, Boma Johnson and Tobiloba Adeboye Joshua are friends. Yes, and in our world today, friendship, especially female friendship, it's a lot that is going on. Actually, it's hard to maintain female friendships if you do not know how to, and if also you do not know how to be a friend. And that's why we're also having this conversation tonight. And friendship is one of the many relationships that God created for us all to benefit from, so that we're not doing life in isolation, so that we're doing life with a community. So yeah, Boma Johnson and Tobiloba Adeboye Joshua are friends. They are both believers. They are both daughters of God. And let me not even give us too much stories. Would uncover as they share with us. But then they have touched something in this friendship thing, in this friendship journey. And I'm so excited with what they are going to be sharing to us tonight, So sorry. So with Jesus joy in our hearts, I want us to welcome our guests by giving me your most energetic emoji or sticker in the chat section. Just put it. Let me see how excited you are while we're waiting for our guests to come up. So Oma, Tobi, you're welcome. Thank you for being here. You can join the chat now. Thank you, Mrs. Comfort.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, Boma, we can hear you, but we can't see you yet.
Okay. All right. I'm coming up like an action movie. You will see me very soon.
Love it. Hi, Tobiloba. See, I love your bio, Minister of Food. You see, when I put it out that Toby is Minister of Music, Food, and Love Affairs, I was not lying. Hi, Boma. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. People say we should use light on our eye. Now we're coming to the School of the Bride. So here we are.
Yes,
Okay, I think
so that everybody
this is
will see you.
Hey God,
You
oh,
know, as light of the world, I mean, we don't need light, though, but,
I love it.
what? Welcome. Good evening. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Oh,
Having,
I love the energy Mrs. Comfort is giving. She's like, my girl.
I don't know what she's doing
Guys,
here.
I forgot to tell you people that I did not mention it when I was introducing to our guest that Boma and Joby they are a vibe. So if you are not happy tonight, just know that you're living here with joy. They don't call Boma voice of joy for nothing. And if you are not ready, just in case you see us doing no me, oh, me, I'm calm. It's Boma and Toby. In case you see any extra, I mean, I give this is the disclaimer. I'm giving it to you guys. So thank you so much. Welcome. While we're waiting for Toby, I don't know. Um, let's just get right into it. So, Boma, once again, thank you for coming. So the first question we have tonight is, who is a friend? Can you help us demystify that question? Like, there's this thing that happens when I see people they've only met like twice, and they're like, "Oh, meet my friend," and in my head I'm like, "Okay, I didn't know it was that easy. Maybe it's me that doesn't actually make friends." So and then on days like that, I just keep wondering like, okay, is that easy? I mean, who then is a friend? So can you help us like demystify that question? Who is a friend and what makes them? What makes people friends?
Okay, so for me, and so first thing, hi everybody. My name is Boma, aka Voice of Joy. Yes, all things joy. So everything I'm going to be saying today is going to be based off of my personal experience and my personal opinions. I believe that we are a sum total of what we go through in life. So what applies to A might not apply to B. But one thing you'd realize when you speak to other people who have possibly gone through the same things you've gone through is that there are a lot of similarities. So, and I would first of all define friendship by what I used to know it by, and then I'll define it by what I've come to know it by. And I think that that would help a lot of people who would watch this later or who are listening right now with how they see joy. So give me a second, please. Let me just Okay. So, friendship for me used to be everybody that I have like a good chat with, or we go out together, or we attend the same school, or close proximity. Maybe I see you every Sunday. If I see you outside, I'll say, that's my friend, because I mean, we do be in the same environment a lot. But I mean, after you get a shock of your life, so twice when people put you in your place, it makes you sit down to kind of have to redefine what friendship is. And so I came to realize that I think how I define friendship is all the things that it is not. Like how we have the fruits of the spirit, and we say love is this, love is this. How I know that this is not love is because I first of all have, the fruit of the spirit as a guideline. If it's not kind, if there's no long suffering. And so friendship for me is love. Really, friendship is love for me.
Mm,
So is this person kind? Is this person are they forgiving? Do they have a heart towards me to let me grow, help me shine? What are all the things, when you go back to the Bible and you read about Abraham being God's friend, there was communication. There was always communication between these two people. There was always a lot of laughter, and it was very transactional in that God was asking a lot of Abraham, but Abraham was also asking a lot of God on different occasions. When you read through from Abraham to Abraham, his journey from being Abram to Abraham, which now became the father of nations, right? So friendship for
yeah,
me, love, really. And that means breaking it down because we say love is very ambiguous. And one of the things I've learned not
yeah,
to do is stick to ambiguous. The person is very kind. What did they do that is kind? Let's know. Maybe what you're defining is caring, nice, or not kind. Because they can be very similar. They can look like the same thing, but not be the same thing. So when I say
yeah,
friendship is love to me, is that I put the person's needs on the same scale that I'll put my own needs. When I call a person a friend, their family. So when that thing about when God says your people, how Ruth said, your people shall be my people. Literally, your family is my family. If you're going through things, good or bad, I don't have the solution, but I definitely should be walking through that same problem with you. So I may not have all the answers. We may both even be broke as friends. I may not have the money that you need to solve your situation, but I can look out for you. I can be thinking of how can we get money. If I can't get the money, what are the different ways you can get the money? I'm not a doctor. I can't help my friend through sickness, but I can go to her house, make food for her. I can make sure that she's using her drugs. I can make sure that I'm keeping her accountable. I have a friend who's going through domestic violence. I'm not trying to be the good guy. If you're not going to listen to me and be the guy, I will cry to your daddy, your mommy, your brother. I will tell everybody that, and Lord help me to save her. Love have blind her. She don't want to leave that place. So love is, for me, friendship in love is going above and beyond the call of duty, being selfless in how I am with the person. And one of the most difficult aspects of friendship that now has helped me, that I've learned now in friendship, is that love will drag your wig. So friendship will drag your wig. You're going to be naked in ways that you did not even expect. Because why? I'm not married to you. Why do I have to be growing with you? Why are you showing me my weaknesses? We're gonna fight. Oh yes, we are gonna fight. We're gonna have nice romantic types of fights. I'm gonna have fights where it's just like, you know what? I'm done. I don't care for this person. And you're going to have fights where you will cry and see somebody broke your heart and your nose, you have kata because of friendships. But one of the things you would learn, one of the things that you would get from that is, on the other side of all of that, heartbreak, hurt, being naked, open, and unashamed, is the beauty that you realize, is the growth that you realize. So, simply put, for me, friendship is everything that love is in all of its characteristics. That's the end of my TED talk.
Wow. Yes, I enjoyed it. And I feel like you've touched on so many things. Like, that feels like a buffet. Like, we should just go and break it down one by one. And thank you so much. And I just have a lot of questions, but let me direct this one to Toby while you get ready for the next one. So thank you once again. So Toby, welcome. So good to have you. I
Hi,
can see your face
hi.
shining.
Hello.
You look good.
Hi, thank you.
Okay, so Boma has given us a breakdown on who a friend is. So can you help us or just share with us what are some of the ways you can identify who is a friend? Like, how can you identify that, oh, this person is a friend or this person should be my friend? Or is it something that anybody can just feel those shoes?
Okay. Hi everyone. Good evening. Thanks. Okay, so I was saying that based on your question, how I've been able to identify friendships, if I'm correct, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I mentioned I was just going to give like practical examples based on where I am and where I'm coming from. So pretty much I prayed. This was something that I was very, because I feel like I personally didn't understand what friendship was all about, and so I'm the kind of person who is how do I put it? Out of sight, out of there's one phrase, like if you're not present with me, um
Mind.
I, yes, out of sight, out of mind. So my time
Okay.
in uni was pretty much, the friends I had was based on, okay, we met in uni, and we became close, we're in the same course, and then we got close, we were all singers together, and then we got close, and that was it. So but each time we would go on holiday, like I was done, like I didn't the friendship was over. So I think over time, getting older, I started to like really desire like godly friendships, because sometimes I'd see certain people and I'd be like, oh, like friendship can actually be this deep. Friendship can actually be a lot deeper than how other people make it look like. And so it became more like a desire for me, and I started to pray about it. Just basically asking God for godly friendships. And I think one of the things I like about God is sometimes when He begins to answer your prayer, sometimes it's not how you would picture it. And so, looking at how things have happened, sometimes He will just throw certain people in your life. And I think one of the things I'm also learning to do is when I find myself getting not necessarily close, but I have like there's a particular person that when I see them, there's like a longing in my heart, or there's like a connection that I cannot quite describe yet. I know that there's something there. So what I try to do is pray about it. Like, who is this person to me? Because again, one of the things I am learning to do is to tag a name to each
Mm.
person that I'm meeting in my life. So once I'm feeling that way, there's some people even in my church where like maybe there's just something that I can't quite describe. But when it has to do with a certain person, there's a way I respond to them. There's a way, it's just different from how maybe I would hug someone else. And so it just takes a lot of sensitivity to be even clear on, okay, why am I even feeling this way? Is God saying something? It's like how you meet a boy, for example. You know, the typical way is boy meets girl, boy likes girl, and then you start dating. But a lot of times, the reason as to why you even came in contact with this guy may not necessarily be for the purpose of dating. So I feel like there is a need to tag. Okay, so you're feeling a certain way towards somebody, you feel very endeared towards a person. The first step is to ask God, okay, who's this person to me? And then as time goes on, knowing the God that we serve, definitely he's going to start, making it a lot more clearer. So for me, in identifying friendships, one of the things I point out or I notice is that I know that all the people that I've met in my life to date, it didn't just happen. There was something about them that kept on drawing me to them. And the more I prayed about it, the more who they were become who they were became rather clearer to me. So it's a case of a lot of sensitivity is extremely important in that aspect. So that you're not just, oh, I like her. So that doesn't become a out of sight. Okay, we only see you on Sundays and that's it. But there's so much more that God certainly wants to do in that friendship. So it takes a lot of sensitivity on my part to be able to identify that, because there's something about this girl, there's something about this guy, because I want to ensure that we're doing it both ways, both male friendships and female friendships. There's something about this guy, something about this girl. Let me press in and even find out what God wants to do with this. And then I realized that the more I pray, the more I am able to now put them in sections. Okay, this is my sister, this is my friend, this is my church buddy, this is my work colleague. So for me, yeah, it's just being sensitive. Number one. Secondly, after being sensitive, you're pressing in to really, really ask God who this person is, and then as God makes it clearer, you now make a step to ensure that you're also, stepping into that space of friendship and you're fulfilling. Because again, I also believe that everything that God, or everything and whoever God sends us to is for a purpose. So there has to be a purpose to
Yeah,
why I'm feeling this way towards this person. And so once I've
yeah.
identified it, the next step is, okay, what am I supposed to achieve with this person? There's definitely a goal.
Mm.
And then as time goes on with sensitivity, prayer, and communication and intentionality, we can then, achieve that purpose as time goes on. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I feel like I'm full, but no, there's still space. Okay, so let's
Mm.
not play so much. You mentioned something. You said that you realized that, oh, it's that deep. And that really called out to me. So can you like bring us into that moment? Like, what do you mean by, or what does it mean when you say friendship is that deep? What's deep about it? But why is not in my head? You don't know. You don't know. Tell us.
Yeah. I mean, so so recently, not recently, at least like for the amount of time that myself and Boma have gotten closer, one of the things that I always keep telling myself based on how we relate and how we communicate is, oh my God, like sometimes it feels like we're married, because it's 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 like you're learning on the job. Yeah, it's like you're learning on the job. I mean, so currently we look like we're in different spaces, but we're in the same house. So I've had to like be in her house for the past 1 week. And I have rearranged this house. She has rearranged it back. I've taken out stuff. She has put them. So like for me, it's more like it's not it's not what Instagram makes us see. Like it's beyond the pictures and the nice smiles and nice pictures. Like it's literally learning
Instagram
to love.
friendship.
Ah, my sister, it's not my picture. because I mean I was that girl. Like I wanted to do what I did with my friends, wear the same outfit, go to the same places, and just show that I know that I love that. There's something about me, and I think I get it from my mom. I like when people are together. Just let us not be there for too long, but let's just have that moment of being together. So I was that babe, like like I was the one that would say, okay, let's go to this place together. Let's wear the same outfit. Let's wear the same colors. But now, being in a different season, I'm realizing, oh my god, like I'm literally it's like I have to. It's like living a surrendered life, even when you don't want to. So I use marriage as an example. Again, I don't know what marriage feels like, but sometimes it feels like it's sometimes with her, because it's a case of getting to know this person and seeing all their flaws and excesses, and still making an intentional effort to love them beyond those things. And sometimes it can be hard because we have our preferences, we have how we want things to be. Nobody likes being naked, especially when there's this thing that we want to come correct all the time. We want to look always look like we know what we're doing. But when somebody points it out to you that, Auntie Ma, this thing you're doing is rubbish, there's that, it stings. But for me, when I say friendship is that deep, is that you are feeling it all, but you know that this person, again, for me, so I think the first step is trust. So with me and her, because I trust her, I know that whatever she says to me, I cannot see myself. So she's pretty much like my mirror. She's my mirror. She's the one that's seeing everything. And because we somehow are involved in so many things, choir, church, and so she gets to see so many aspects of me that other people may not necessarily see. So it's her responsibility, actually. It's not even yet, it's her responsibility to cover me. And sometimes covering me means that she will call me out on stuff. Sometimes covering me is she will defend me outside. Sometimes covering me is if I rearrange her house, she will love me either way. Sometimes covering me, like, let me even confess. Today I left the house a mess. So I was late for church. I was trying to do my makeup and everything. I'm sure when she entered the house, she must have thought, what just happened to this place? So friendship is you getting to see things like that. And you're like, oh my God, if not for God and love, this girl will be out of my house in a minute. So friendship is like literally,
God, I
it,
know.
it's practice for, I strongly believe that friendship is practice for marriage. And that's why you hear people say, marry your friend. Why? Like there has to be something about friendship that keeps the marriage going. So for me, like we always say, myself and her, like if you can get it right in friendship, you can definitely get it right. Of course, doesn't mean that your marriage will be perfect, but you'll be able to hit something. You've been able to go beyond the surface level. You're having difficult conversations. You're sharing your past. You're literally like an open book. You can. I mean, there was a particular time I remember that I lied to. I think I lied to her, and I think I don't remember. Actually, there was a time I lied to her, and I don't know how long after I told her that, babe, I lied though. That's what friendship is. It's like you don't have it. You don't. There's no. You don't have a choice but to be real with your friend. Do you understand? So for me, I don't know. It's like you are interwoven together. You are just, it's like covenants. To be honest, it's covenants, and especially when it's God ordained friendship. You know that no matter what happens, you guys have to sort it out and get it moving. I mean, you have people settle our fight. Our pastor, shout out to PI. Had like a few sessions in our car saying, "I tell her you love her, you tell her you love her." I mean, it's been one journey to the other. But I mean, yeah, that's how deep it is. Like if there are issues that if it's so important to you, then you must be willing to look for anybody that can save the two of you. That's how deep it is. Except it's not important to you. Like we must be able to say, "I feel this way. I feel like you haven't checked up on me." I mean, we had a moment during the retreat where there was like this space. And then the retreat, I was crying. I was like, I miss you. And we had this whole, I was wailing. I was like, I miss you. Like, you're not checking on me. I thought that there's one babe that she's been carrying on my head all this while. And I was like, oh yeah, now you now have a new best friend. You now have a new friend. I'm like, you don't check on me. You don't love me. I miss you. I had to humble myself to say, yo, like, Give me attention. You're not giving me attention. I need it. And I'm not even like that I'm not like that on a normal day. Like if I reach that's your business. I'm not but with her I'm learning. Not I've learned because I'm still learning. I'm learning to be vulnerable with her to say, yo, this is how I feel. I may not necessarily say it immediately, but I'll always beat the time. Even though I feel sometimes those times are always wrong because it never lands well with her. So I have to also figure out a way to pass on all these things. So I mean, it's a journey. It's deep. You have to know your friend to know when your friend is even ready to receive. You have to know how to even coin it in a way that she will not feel, almost it's a lot. I don't know, it's a lot. Like it's tiring. I was just telling her yesterday that my friendship is hard work. Oh. Like what's the problem? I just want to something I want to be myself. I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to stay on my own. Like I mentioned, I've been in her house for 1 week. And sometimes she just come to the room and she be like, have you seen me? I'm like, we're in the same house, we're breathing together. That should be fine. Why do we have to? Why? Like, you can see, I see you, you see me. Let that be fine. But she's like, no, talk to me. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. But now I'm learning. I am making compromises now. So now, because I'm always in my room, she has told me, no, come on. So sometimes I'll just come out to the living room, sit down, talk, and I run back to the room again. Even though she's accusing me that I've not gotten better, but try it, I beg. I'm doing my best. But yeah, that's how deep friendship is pretty much, yeah.
Oh my god. Ah god.
It's a lot.
Wow. Wow. It truly is like a
It's a lot.
marriage. Like
Honestly speaking.
god. It's Boma's reaction for me. She has just been like, Boma, do you want to add anything to that before I ask the
Of
next
course.
question?
Of course she does. Of course she does.
Of course, because without this reaction, you cannot not.
Oh my
Cover you
gosh.
so that they will not know that we are in the same house. But since you have confessed, let me help you.
Shall expose
So let me tell you how tricky friendship is. And I'm going to come from a different angle entirely. So I'll give a backstory. I met Toby in I think 2018 or 2017. I can't remember when exactly.
You always remember the date, my God.
So in the relationship, because we are dating, I was going when people are saying it's like marriage. No. We are a couple. I don't like that you are saying it's like we are a couple. Because why
apology.
no? Well, okay, of course we're not a couple, please. We like men. Thanks. God bless. But, yes,
Put
Jesus
it
Christ
out
sent
there.
us
Let's
man
be
and
clear.
woman. That's how we directed it.
Ma,
We love men. We appreciate men deeply,
We appreciate
truly,
men.
solely.
Thank you so much. So you know how for me, I love people who sing, especially when they carry a lot of grace. So imagine I was Toby's fan girl. Let me start from there. I was Toby's fan girl. Then you see somebody like, Dancy, she sings so sonorously. One day, yeah, now we'll be friends. And I just said that casually and I moved on. Fast forward to 2020 was when we really started becoming friends. And I started learning anew that how you see people on the podium or on the stage isn't necessarily who they are in its entirety, right? That was kind of like the first shock. I mean, I come from a family of podium and altar. So I know that my daddy on the altar is not the daddy inside the house. After he's done with all of you, he's a different person inside the house. Same thing with my mommy. But to get that from somebody else that is not, in my family was like, oh, wow. And, she said something that I want to point to, which is you cannot do friendship without trust because you will never be able to move past certain wrongs. Forgiveness will be hard without trust. So what I tell myself every time that the devil, because also I realize that everything that is in unity or in union, the devil will fight it. So you have found this great friend. You guys, me and Toby's friendship for like 1 year we were on the high. Like it was like honeymoon phase. I don't think we had a fight or an argument, but what that does is when you're at that level of high, you have this ginger to go deeper. Like now I want to be open with this person. What deeper now means is I'm now more open. What you're basically saying is I'm inviting you to come and see all the ways that I'm inadequate. I'm inviting you to come and see all the ways that I'm weak, I'm weary. I'm inviting you to come and see all the ways that I've kept my demons in check and in chains so that nobody sees them. It's another way of saying I'm inviting you to come and see all my flaws, and I'm inviting you to come and see all my failures, which is not something we ever invite anybody to. So it's a subconscious invitation. So what happens is when the person sees your flaws and your failures, they react and you're like, I did not give you permission to see that. That was covered. That's a no-go area for you, you know. So of course you get defensive. And I think that was one of the things in our friendship where she would say to me, you're getting very defensive. I'm like, me, defensive. Me, a lover girl. I don't do be defensive.
Lover girl.
So what did I do? I ran to my best friend who I've known for longer. And I'm like, oh, she's on this call. I don't know what she's doing here. I don't know what she's doing here. So I go to her like, Mama go defend me. I go and meet her and I'm like, I'm not defensive, right? I don't know. She goes, oh, yeah, you are. That's why it's difficult. I'm like, after almost 10 years of friendship, you're just going to say that to me like that? And I think that it was such a very distinctive learning curve for me in 2021 because before then, I think many people had tried to say it, but they never ever said it in the way that I could understand it. It was called many things, and it was hidden under a lot of things that I couldn't relate. So the first thing I would say to people is trust the heart of your friend, which is why you cannot pick a friend that was not handpicking or chosen for you by God. If the person is not handpicking and chosen for you by God, you will trust the wrong person with your life. I can open up to an Iyano or an Toby on any level and trust that they will tell me. So when Toby tells me now that, girl, you've messed up, I believe her because she's the same person that told me, girl, you did good. She has clapped for me and raised me up in the light of goodness, such that I can trust when she tells me, my dear, that thing you did is nonsense. So if I can take the energy of her support and her love when she's gingering me and talking about me good and posting my pictures like we like to see on Instagram or WhatsApp and she's praising me, then when she calls me and says, girl, this thing you did is bad, I should be able to take it. So let me give you, she reported herself today. So yesterday I did something. I'm the extrovert. Toby is an introvert. And I don't know why I always pass introverted friends because my best friend is a freaking introvert too. He drives me, like I should love extrovert. How am I friends with people that don't like to come outside their room? They can be there 1 month and they're okay. How? You can, why are we in the same house and you don't feel like just walking around to say, baby girl, how do you do? Oh, they romance me. You don't ask about me. Why? We always joke about God put us in each other's lives to train us for the kind of men that we would have. And I was talking to 2 friends of mine who are married, and this was a very integral issue. So when people say the first year of marriage is hard, what they're really saying is learning about ourselves and accommodating our different hard. So for me now, and let me tell you, growth, another thing in friendship, the second thing I wanted to say, to trust your heart. Number 2, never measure your growth. Enjoy your growth in friendship. There are many things that I don't do now, and I did not know when I stopped doing it. But when I was so conscious to stop it, it was harder for me. So it's more like the more, if I love this person, it will be easy for me to do what will make them happy. I really, really want my friend to be comfortable. I never want to do anything that makes her feel like she cannot trust me because, again, the first thing is trust. So everything I do has to be, I need this person to believe that I'm for them and never against them. And I can only do that if I truly hear them when they say things. So I posted a video and Toby, like she went on panic mode and I was busy. So she was calling me, speak, it's very urgent, texting me. I say, wait here I do. I just saw a message. Some things are not meant to be posted. I say, oh my God, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. I deleted it immediately. Now the old me would have asked her, why should I delete it? There's nothing bad. They're almost like, I want you to see reasons why it was okay for me to post it. Now, that's a conversation I can have after. In the moment, my friend is saying, this thing doesn't make me feel safe. By her saying, take it down, Don't just take down a post. Share her feelings. So I was hearing my friend doesn't feel covered in this moment. My friend feels like I'm like more like shaming her with this post, or she doesn't feel safe and secure in this post I just made. So I took it down immediately. No questions asked. And I apologized, which is the third thing I'm going to say. Learn to apologize to your friends for how they felt, not the motive behind your actions. I will take that again. Learn to apologize to your friends for how they felt, not the motive behind your actions. So I'm sorry, first of all, that your feelings were hurt, regardless of whether my motive was right or it was wrong, regardless of the reason why I did it. The first point of note is that I hurt my friend. I put pain on somebody that I should put joy. I made this person feel sadness where I should be showing them joy. So first of all, I apologize for being the very thing you're afraid of and the very thing you're scared of. That's how you build trust. That's how they become more vulnerable around you. That's how they're easily able to forgive you. This kind of thing now that I did yesterday, it could have taken us maybe a week for us to adjust around each other. But we've gotten to a point now where she knows that, oh, that was a genuine mistake. This is just Boma's personality. I also understand, oh, she wasn't trying to insult me by saying take it down, or how she said it. That's just how she needed it to get to me quickly, like the information. Me too, when I entered the house today, I'm not like to. I say, I shock. I first stand at the door. Did somebody pursue this girl out of the house? Could it be that maybe rapture happened? Because why? There is shoe on the ground. There is even the freezer everywhere. On me. What really happened now? A normal me, I don't know. She knows I like to arrange my things. As she has entered the house now, I'll be filming. I will sit down here, I will swell up on the chair. Why would somebody do that? But then I told myself, when she comes, she will arrange it by herself. I've collect peace of mind. I just about to shift all her property to workplace. I said this is a learning curve. If your husband scatters something, don't be over arranging it too. Sometimes leave it there for him to arrange. Learn, dear. And she always says, Boma, I'm teaching you, so I'm learning, dear. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a couple something.
Yes, I'm learning. So again, I always say something. If you get friendship right, it will be too difficult for you to get it wrong in marriage, because you would have seen yourself in a way that you never would have been opportune to see yourself, or your blind spots. So I say friendship is the mirror to your back. All my blind spots, Toby would most likely cover it. Nani would most likely cover it. You know. And sometimes one of the things I also learned is your blind spot is not necessarily your weakness. It's just a spot you can't see because it's at your back. So most times when we hear correction, we hear, oh, this person is saying I'm weak, I'm not good. But what the person is really saying is, yo, this is a not so good thing that can turn bad really quickly if you don't check it out. It's not that it's bad yet, but it's a thing that can turn bad if you don't check it out quickly. But what we hear most times when we're corrected by friends or called out is, this thing is bad and you're weak and you're failing at this area. So again, and that's the voice of the enemy. That's what I want to tell us. The voice of the enemy will never allow you hear what you need to grow. It would always tell you to fight back at the things that will help you become better. So in my journey, and it's funny because the weekend she was telling me, oh, I miss you, and we're on the floor crying and praying together. I miss you, me too, I miss you, I don't know you were missing me. Very, very nonsense songs if I think about it now, because what really happened? Why some of us are crying like that day?
On the altar.
On the altar. Collecting Holy Ghost anointing. It's like our emotions now became there. Now, this is the funny thing that happened. A week or 2 weeks before that, my best friend was also saying, oh, I feel like Toby is your best friend. I'm not your friend. You see? So see life did not balance. Best friend said Toby is different. Toby says another person I'm giving attention. You know. But one of the things that I also realized that day, also that I want to share with us, which was the fourth point that I wrote down, is get to a safe space with your friendships. Like, I don't think in the last 3 years I've enjoyed companionship. I've been single for a while, And I have not, there are days where if I feel like everybody around me is having love, I don't know to call. I carry my phone. Hello, my dear, talk to me. I know you don't feel like talking to me, but you will talk to me because I will not go and sin against God. And you are my accountability partner. Talk to me before I go call who I'm not supposed to call. So you need those kinds of friends. I used to be of the opinion, and this is Toby said she prayed for friends. I didn't pray for friends. I won't lie to you. God saw it fit that I needed friends, to be honest. I didn't. So some of you would pray for friends, some of you would, God would give you. But what you need to do is when God is giving you what you didn't pray for, that He knows that you need, you have to be open to receive it.
Come on.
Right? Because sometimes, a lot of times, God will give us what we didn't even know that we need. And that was my own situation. Because when you sent me this flyer, Tony, I had to sit down and really ask myself, am I worthy of talking about friendship? Because
oh God, yeah.
I was
will
like,
tell people the story about Toby. Toby, right? Toby ghosted me. See, I'm not doing.
I say, French, ask Tony, I went to meet Toby now. I say, hey, this flyer, this thing that Tony said we are doing program. And you are available. I'm not available for such. And let me tell you why, which is another thing that I'm learning, that God qualifies the calls, or He's not that qualifies ourselves. Iyanu became my friend in my final year, but I'd known her throughout of school. And this is the thing, God, so that thing Toby said about when your spirit is pulled to somebody from 100 levels, I admired her. You know, you just look at somebody and your spirit is just doing as if this person is so nice, so sweet. But she had her own circle of friends, and they were friends from 100 level till that final year. And they seemed like, those friends that it's like, they're like cults. I used to tell her, you were in cults there because you people were doing everything together. If somebody says hi to one, you say hi to four. You say hi to the five of them. They used to do room together, all those things. And I was the tomboy everywhere. She was an introvert, classy. My friends are ladies, like ladies. Me, I'm just learning to be lady. They are girly girls, Me, I was the girl that would just wear shirts. Like my dress sense was so. In fact, Iyanu is the reason I do makeup today. Iyanu is the reason I dress well. If you still in university,
big shout out to Iyanu.
So for me, it's like what God did for me was all I had before Iyanu was male friends. I had a lot of male friends because also I had like very horrible stories with what friends had done with me, bullying and all of that in growing up. So I kind of just locked up that female friendships I'm not doing again, which again goes back to the very thing God wants to use for you is also the very thing that the devil will attack. That's another thing that I want to point out. So the reason I went through all of that bullying and heartbreak and everything I went through is because God knew, and the devil also knew, that if I allow this girl succeed in the female friendships, they will hold her up in the light of goodness for the rest of her life. But God will always give you a second chance, right? So up until 2018, when I started my master's, Iyanu was my only female friend. I had a lot of acquaintances, I had a lot of colleagues, I had a lot of people around my life, but nobody in my inner circle, which is another thing that I wanted to speak to when you ask that question to me. It's okay to have a lot of people in your space. For example, it's funny that Toby is an introvert, but she has a lot of people in her space. I'm an extrovert and I have a lot of people in my space. When I say a lot, like a lot of people, and I love them. I care for them. They are my people, but they are not necessarily my friends on the same level.
Yeah.
Because one of the things Holy Spirit said to me in 2021 when I was praying about friendship, because that was when I actually now started praying about friendship. I didn't used to pray. In fact, we became friends in 2020. We used to pray together then, but my mind was still half and half because I'm like, in case the thing cast now one leg, I will just carry my second leg run. I will not be too heartbroken, So in 2021, I realized that this thing is like it's just getting deeper and deeper. I started praying, and the Holy Spirit said 3 things. He said, one, I will send you to certain people to be their friends, and they will never be your friends, and it's okay. 2, certain people will be your friends and you will never be able to be their friends, and it's okay. 3, I will send people to you that it will be a transactional relationship, and it's okay. I remember there used to be a time where everybody say friendship is not a transaction. Friendship is transaction. Let me tell you, that's the honest truth, because I'm giving and you're giving me. I'm taking from you and you're taking from me. But the truth is, I would never feel like I'm giving because it comes naturally and easily when it's
Naturally.
right. It does not like as I enter house now, if I go to Toby's house now, there's something like Toby, please can I use your slippers? It has even translated to her sister. I enter her house, I do as I like. Her sister is my sister. I say hello, please, I need clothes. I'm coming to your house to carry clothes. Her husband knows. My mommy too, she has become their mommy. She even ask after them than me. I say, wow, ma, it's me you born. Which time do you meet them? You are breaking my heart. And what that does is it really doesn't just give you a covering, but it gives you a safe place when you fall, which is where friendship used to cast. A lot of people's friendship is that time that they fall, that the real friendship. Because when you're going out, it's nice. When you're taking pictures, it's nice. When you're going to restaurants and snapping for the gram and going for programs, is nice. When you go to man house that you're not supposed to go to as a believer and you tell your friend, how does that friendship handle it? When you do something at work, maybe you took money you're not supposed to take as a believer, that's stealing basically, or lying, or gossiping, or manipulating, all the things that we don't want to be, all the things that maybe we even said we will never be. When you find yourself in a situationship, I remember maybe 2021 or 2022, me and this guy at the same time, we find ourselves inside situationship. We're not asking ourselves, how did we really share there? Which road did we pass? Two of us were looking at ourselves and we entered here. How? But the beautiful thing is, even while we were there, we knew that we need to get out. We got to find a way out. This is not where we're meant to be. And there was no third party, fourth party, fifth party involved. There was no, the people we cried to were those who were covering over us also. We didn't go, there was no Toby went to tell somebody I heard from another party. It would never even cross my mind. If a secret leaked to, I can never suspect you. Like, never. You don't understand? Never. Because even to talk to me, gosh, has not finished telling me secrets. It's now you should come and tell. She can suspect me. Maybe me, I do talk. Maybe she can suspect. Do you? Her mind is like this. Cannot tell me. There's no need. It's only Holy Spirit. She will tell Holy Spirit. That's who she used to talk to. That is her best friend. Yeah. So trust your heart. Build intentionally. And like Toby said, when you're drawn to somebody, it can be a random thought too. Like it can be very random. It doesn't have to be one dove over your head, shaking in the Holy Ghost. It can be a liking that you have for somebody. Pursue it.
Yeah.
So it's like you're toasting somebody, pursue it. Check on the person often. And what I realize oftentimes is God never sends you to somebody that also doesn't need a friend. So that it doesn't feel like you're the one doing all the work. He will send you to somebody, or he will put somebody in your heart that the person is also longing for a friendship. The person is also lonely for friendship. So when both of you come together, it will be easy to match. It will be easy because there's a longing on this side, there's a longing on this side. When both of you meet, it's like, oh, you're satisfying the longing of my heart, and you're also satisfying the longing of the other person's heart. And it becomes beautiful in that way, So I mean, it's but the crux of it is it starts with trust, and also just enjoy growth. Don't monitor your growth. Like I said, you are growing. Sometimes it's not easy to calculate growth. You may not necessarily see it. But one day you will act and you realize that how you used to act before is not how you're acting now. Like, so how you would maybe flip or shout. I think it was 2 Sundays ago. Toby shouted at me openly. Somebody shouted at me openly. The old me that have died now, thank you, Jesus. I would have given you back. Why did you shout at me like that? Why did you talk to me that way? Funny thing is, I never realized she shouted at me. It was when she now said, my friend, I shouted at you, I'm sorry. I said, I don't know that, I don't even know that you shout. Okay, but I collect apologies. Since you apologize. Thank you. Yeah. I didn't know.
God.
So yeah, I mean, so friendship is deep, I think. If you are not doing friendship that is choking you, some days you feel as if I don't want to do again, I don't think that you are doing the correct thing, because everybody I've met, and even Mrs. B, I've asked her, all your friends, how do you do it? There are days where you're just like, I don't feel like being friends with anybody.
Yeah.
I don't feel like being person. But you choose. So and that's why I said, when I think of all the things they always say about relationship, and I think of my friendship, I'm like, what they're saying in relationship in terms of man and woman is what I'm doing in my friendship. I'm choosing my friend every day. I'm choosing. So when Toby says, "Oh, I miss you, you've not been there for me," and my best friend says, "Oh, I miss you, you've not been there for me," I don't say, "Oh, you two, you've not been there for me." I ask myself, in what ways was I inadequate? What did I used to do before that changed that made this person feel this way? I have deep questions. Okay, yeah, how can I be better? Toby, what do you need? What do you need me to infuse? How do you want? One of the questions that would really help a lot of friends and a lot of friendship is, how do you want to be friended? Which is, in love, we say, how do you want to be? It was one of the first questions Toby asked me that blew my mind. Like, how can I be a friend to you? Because I may be bringing how me I want to be. For example, I want you to check in on me. I want you to ask me how I'm doing. You may not be the person that wants me to walk into your room and ask you. What you may want is for me to buy you gifts and for me to be around you for your family occasions. Tell me what you desire and what you need. If you don't tell me, I'm not a witch or a wizard. For example, one of the reasons that I pulled back from Toby when she said, "Oh, I wasn't checking on her," was I had this idea that it wasn't an idea. It just felt like I was always doing the calling, checking in, always. And I just got to a point where I was like, maybe I'm doing too much. Maybe the girl really needs a space, Boma. Maybe you are just, every time you are going to her house, you are checking on her in church, you are dragging her. Whoa, give the girl breathing space. You are not the first to have friends. So when she told me, "You've not been checking on me," I was like, but you want space now? This relationship, you are stressing me. You have to choose today. Do you want my original self or should I give you space? And then that's where balance comes in. So now, there are times where I go in, I see her by her body language, because I stay long with her, I know that nah, this is not the time to play. This is not the time to disturb her. And it's not because she's doing anything serious, just by her demeanor. I know that she needs this time to herself. There are days where I enter and I'm like, on the Instagram. She does not need space or time. I jump on her head, I disturb her. So the more you grow into yourselves, the more you allow yourselves to see yourselves, the more you begin to be able to even do the things God needs you to do. There is a place in friendship where you will get to where God will literally call you, and I call it call. God will call you and say, "Toby is going through stuff. Begin to pray for her." There are moments where I've messaged both my friends, and I'm messaging them either at the point where they are crying, or at the point where they're about to make a horrible decision, or at the point where they are confused, or at the point where, they just need somebody. And I'll just call. They didn't call me, they didn't tell me, and I'll just say, "Stuff and stuff is going on with you. Something is up with you. What's really going on?" Or I will say, "How are you?" Maybe normally they say fine, and I will take it. This day, I'm like, "You're not fine. Something is up with you. Speak." There's something there. So the more you do friendship, and that's how I know that God is intentional about friendships. The more you do friendship, God begins to trust you with this person's destiny. God begins to trust you with the assignment on this person's life. God begins to trust you with what He's called this person's purpose to be. Because you can see them. There's a time where Toby did not think her writing was everything. Money, you will believe. Because, already you are a writer. You do right. Yeah. You do right. You are a scribe of the Lord. But it was a journey. Toby then just used to feel like, it's just my normal. I just feel like you're typing stuff. I'm like, no, this thing is talent. So, and there are also talents that now Toby is like, you're good at this thing. Like, this is why you had. Sometimes I'm complaining that why is it only me that this thing happens to? She's like, that's why God gave you the capacity for this. So also friends are burden bearers. And when people hear burden bearers, I feel like what they hear is somebody who is there for you in sorrow and in pain. That's not what it is. Friends are people carrying every single thing laid on your heart with you. If you have a idea, a desire, a need, there are days where literally what we feel like doing, we're both foodies, is to eat. And we'll look at ourselves like this and say, "My dear, we have tried. Let's go and eat." Some days you can just be coming from church, say, "Mufella ice cream, money, my dear, you deserve ice cream." And the days where we look at ourselves, we say, "I feel like eating ice cream." We say, "We cannot use this money for ice cream, my dear. It's for the work of the Lord. Cannot try that. God, we ask us on the last day." So it's I can't lie. Friendship done with God is beautiful. Like it is beautiful. I always say that I cannot believe I've been single for this long and I did not feel it. That's the truth. Are there days where maybe many you go through Instagram and see a lot of all moments? You will feel it. But what do? I send the all moments to my friend. Two of us are gonna go through this torture of single together. My dear, sorry, couple, yeah, or fight. Yeah, oh, beautiful. You like the gown? Don't worry, your gown. And what we now do, guess what? We now start talking about each other's wedding day. Your wedding day. All of a sudden, I don't feel lonely again. All of a sudden, I forgot why I came here in the first place. I came here because I was feeling like everybody's loving up and alone. And now I'm all of a sudden excited about my friend's wedding and her marriage and her children. That's what friendship is. God giving you a space to consistently run to where He can meet you through somebody, right? He can meet you, and I think that's the crux for me. God can use that person always, and you yourself, you can trust that voice. Sometimes God talks to us, and it feels like, I know that this happens with me and Toby, and even and some of my other friends. When God speaks to me, sometimes it feels like I'm going mad or I'm crazy, because the thing they are saying is like I'm hearing myself, or it's too much for me to handle. So, people say, just believe in God, just trust God. The biggest lesson I've learned, God personally did not create any of us to walk through life journey alone. Like, you don't understand, He did not. He created us and wired us one for another, such that we can walk through life together. I remember when I used to see people, we've been friends for 20 years. I said, Kill and Shay, how are you people doing it? Say from secondary school to marriage. How do people reach there? And now I'm in that same space, and I'm like, I've not seen the fight, and I know that there will be fights. It's not, you don't understand. I'm aware that there will still be fights to come, because the devil will never say a good thing about that. But now I'm ready. It's almost like I will fight for this friendship with everything on my inside. I will do whatever I take, so long as the other person on the other end is fighting on the same level with me. So it's a case of we're never fighting each other. We're always fighting the issue in front of us. We're fighting our weaknesses. We're fighting our ego. We're fighting our pride. We're fighting shame. But we're never fighting each other, which is hard though, because we're saying this thing now is sweet. Sometimes it takes us 2 weeks, so where we're like, are you okay? I'm like, not yet, but I'll get there. It's still paining me. That thing you said is still paining me. It's the truth though. It's still paining me, but I'll get there. And it's also tricky for me and Toby, because she's my leader. So sometimes, almost every other week, there's a leadership angle of our friendship that I'm just like, when you lead me finish, you will come and meet me here where we are equals. You will come and meet me here.
Wow.
So that's also another dynamic, because I hear a lot of people saying, oh, because she's now a leader. I had a friend who had messaged me, I think this was in March, and said, oh, so I know these two friends who are like mutual friends, just on the outside of their friendship. And their friendship was going through something, because one got appointed a leader in their place of work. They work together. They've been friends since uni days, like 100 level. No, since secondary school, then we entered the same university, read the same course. And she was like, oh, that they are not talking any longer because she's lording over her and blah, blah, blah. And this used to be one of those friends that I used to look at and be like, oh my God, these people, till they die, they'll be friends. So it's very shocking to me, that, wow, Nigeria has happened to us. Bless the Lord. And she was just blatantly uninterested. She just kept saying they are not on the same level. There's now a difference. And what that did for me at that point was, I'm like, if you guys have been friends for over 10 years and leadership is what will break the friendship, what really have you guys been doing as friends? Because I must be able to, there has to be a way. And that's what I always tell myself.
Finally.
This is actually very hilarious.
This is that together that you didn't want to do before. Now you have done it.
What was the need? Why do we not just do this before? I don't know. Forgive us. So yeah. Yeah. Are you comfortable?
Oh, truly, people are doing like humble. I'll not be saying that. I will never say it again that you are like a couple. You are a couple. No,
What?
friendship couple.
Please.
Nobody should go and hear the other thing.
Honestly, friendship
Friend.
couple.
These two women like men. They like men.
Wow.
Please take
So
over.
yeah, I mean that's just it, trust the heart, enjoy your growth. Because I won't lie, when I used to calculate, maybe if Toby says, "Oh, you've done something wrong," and I want to be very conscious about changing it, I will most likely end up doing something wrong again, or I will be acting out of character, almost like I want to fix it now, now, now. I don't want her to ever complain about it again. Again, it's that fear of being perfect, that fear of I don't want her to come and tell me a second time that I've done wrong. But the moment I just tell myself that, you know what, I love this person. If she says this thing is bad, it should come naturally for me to change it. As much as I will be conscious, it should come naturally, more than planning and putting, a timetable to it. So you consciously change from the inside out, but it should also come naturally, right? So yeah, that is it. But you are really nice
Wow.
today.
Wow. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you guys. So it has been an amazing 1 hour. So much insight, so much discovery. Personally, I'm gonna turn to you guys. Get ready. But in a good way. I mean. But oh my God, wow, thank you guys so much. Thank you for being so real and so raw with us. Like, I'm inspired, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people on the call are also like, where is my friend? Let me go and friendship this friendship very well. Where is that friend? Come here. Well, I'm ready for you. You are influencing me. When we started, I was a gentle, calm, lady, but now see what you've done. Oh my God. Wow. So thank you once again. Like, I'm blessed, and I'm pretty sure that every other person on the call has been blessed. So now we've spent an hour, and actually my mind was telling me budget 1 hour, 30 minutes. I will listen next time. Now it's time for questions. Like, let's throw the floor open to anybody and anyone that has questions, contributions. I mean, they said a lot. And I'm sure that we can relate to one thing or the other. So if you have any question, any contribution, anything really, you can unmute yourself, or just put it in the chat section below. Thank you, Mrs. Comfort. Thank you for the vibe, all the stickers, everything. I just, I love it. She just agreeing, giving her own comment. Love it so much. Thank you. Everybody should. In fact, I wanted to ask all of you. That's true. If you are enjoying the session, why are you not chatting like Mrs. Comfort? Why? No. Why? Why are you keeping those thoughts to yourself? How we see? Are we gonna come and read your heart? Do we have X-ray vision? Come on, put it in the chat. It's so this expression for me. I'm saying the truth now. Like, put it in the chat section. Let us know. Say your mind. I know you all have questions and comments. Okay.
I have a question, ma.
Ew.
Oh, okay. Mrs. Comfort. Oh, okay.
My sister. Our sister. At this point.
Okay. That's something Mrs. Comfort. Damn. Sorry. So I was very, very blessed. Let me be serious by your by both ladies, very wise ladies. Thank you so much for sharing and being very vulnerable. I know they're going to talk about me when I get off this call. That's okay.
Yep.
But my question is, why did the two of you really think that being in different rooms was going to make sense? Because at some point you were going to come together. So, like, what was the purpose of being in separate places? That's just my question. Thank you, Tony.
That's the question. Wow. I'm gonna let.
Please answer the jury. Why? Please answer the jury.
Why are you pointing at me? I want to give you the floor. Well, so actually, what happened was this girl right here is supposed to be in Ibadan. So I was actually, so the plan was, I wasn't expecting her to here because my mind is in Ibadan. So I get home and I see her sitting down. So I was actually in another meeting in the other room, and then I realized that she had joined. And so I was trying to figure out how will I now come from the room. And now everybody will now see me. I was like, so the wisest thing in that moment just seemed like, let me just join in the room. Yeah, so I mean, nothing serious. It's just poor planning.
And me, I wanted to form
Poor planning.
I said, let me come and surprise my friend.
Wow. Surprise gone wrong. Because she will still ask that question after this meeting.
Alas, the surprise did not go well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
Mrs.
guys are
Comfort, hope we answered your question.
yeah, thank you very much for your response.
It's
I
a
have a
serious
second question. Please,
question.
when are you people coming home?
Like on live, ma.
Let me be
Family
serious. Let
members
me
will
be
always be
serious.
family members.
I actually, I let me be serious. I'm actually inspired by both of you's friendship. I sort of have like a front row seat, and it's very
Oh,
interesting and inspiring to see both of you blossom. Like is when you were talking about how Iyanu was like, oh, you have a new best friend. I can totally relate because me, I'm a very selfish lover. I don't like to share my friends. So I could really relate with Iyanu saying, looks like Toby is now top of mind for you. But I think one of the things that is very important in friendships is how friendship circles can intertwine because like
Oh
and that's
yeah.
one thing that I think that they do really well because Iyanu is Boma's bestie and then Toby is
Yeah.
Boma's bestie on the other hand as well. And they're able to be friends like um and I think one and that thing I that is so important to note here is how they're able to say that okay, I know you're friends with this person, but I'm feeling threatened. Like my friendship with you is feeling threatened. How can we um be better at it? Like your friendship with Iano is separate from my friendship with you, and how can we make it better so that we're not feeling threatened in our circles while still being a bigger circle? Because I think friendships
Yeah.
always suffer in that. Because why can't we all just get along? We don't all have to be besties, but we can all get along and be
mm,
friends and also respect that okay when Boma is with Iyano, I'm going to respect that Boma and Iyano are having their Boma and Iyano time. And when Boma and Toby are having their own time, Iyano is able to respect that okay, let me not disturb. Or I can call, we can get some a three-way call, but this is their own time together. I think they're able to do that well. And I think it's really, really inspiring and very, very heartwarming as well. So you guys are getting it right. And another thing, sorry, that I thought was interesting to note was Toby said she prayed for her friendships. Boma said, no, I know like, I didn't pray. Because when Toby was speaking, I had to start thinking, I was like, hey, did I pray about my own friendships? Like, but when Boma said it, that sometimes these people are sent to you,
Balance.
like they
Yeah.
are what you need. It's so important because sometimes we actually don't know what we need. You can pray for a friend and think that's the person for you, and God is like, look,
Um.
you are making an error, you know.
Yeah.
And being able to understand that, okay, maybe God sends person to me, but is this person going to be for the long haul or for
Oh
short
yeah.
time? Me, I don't have to release people.
mm.
I like to hold on to them, which is why I really liked what Boma said about some friends are being. I don't know what was the thing you said. No, was it
Some friends are for you, but you're not for them. Some you are
uh-huh.
for, they're not for you. But some you're for
Yeah.
them and they're for you.
Absolutely. Like it's so important to know those so that you don't get hurt in the end. Finally, I like
Yeah.
how she said friendship is transactional. Let's not lie. You see all the people that say, I can do bad by myself, say no
Oh
to
yeah.
friends, who needs friends? You are a bloody liar. A bloody liar. Because
I
what do
actually
you mean you don't
agree.
need friends? Like what do you mean friendship is not transactional? You give, I give. What do you mean you don't owe your friends? Are you man?
Exactly.
I'm sorry, this is a question, please. Like, are you okay? Like, what do you mean you don't need friends? What do you mean you don't owe me as your friend? You owe me because I'm well invested in your life. You're well
Do
invested
you?
in my life. You
You
owe
owe
me.
me.
You owe. Okay, yeah. You know, people, people are like, I think this is why I actually joined this because I didn't want to forget when I saw this. I think on Showbiz page or was it your page? I can't remember. I joined. I was like, I didn't want to because with the narrative about friendship is so fickle. It's so superficial. People are
Yeah.
if you don't like, oh, if you don't post me on my birthday, we're done. If you don't clinic, like what's wrong with you? Like that's your challenge,
Like
right?
that's your problem right now. Of
That's
all
your
the things to focus
so
on.
you don't
Wow.
understand. So that's why I joined. So thank you, Tony, for doing this. I think you should post this in bits on your page or whatever. I'll definitely repost because this was really, really great. Yeah. And with that, I'm out.
Thank you so much, Ma.
I was going to add something
Thank you.
when she mentioned the whole
Okay.
when she mentioned the dynamic between having like two different sets of friends. So I realized that friendship has the ability to even change your love languages. It's like marriages. Or sometimes you hear people say that, oh, my own is acts of service, and at some point it changes. So when that happened, I remember that when it happened, and I was saying, "Oh, I miss you." I'm not that kind of person. But over time, being friends with her, there's a side of me that is now vulnerable, that wants to show that vulnerable side of me that suddenly came out from nowhere. Because even thinking about it, I'm like, huh? So like in my head, I never would have imagined me. I mean, for guys, yes, like I'm a lover girl.
Oh,
But with female friendships, like I never would imagine myself saying, "Oh, I miss you. You don't call me." That's not me. But then I'm coming to realize that even in friendships, there are love languages that will change over time. And you begin to see yourself, get the things in you that maybe have been locked out due to trauma. People have broken your heart. But then if you're in the right friendship, you begin to see that there are certain things that you actually want, but maybe you've not been able to express it due to whatever you've gone through in the past. But because I know that I can be safe with her, I can easily say, "Oh, I miss you. You don't come." But it wasn't even from a malicious place because again, like we're actually trying this, entire dynamic. Like with Yano, we hang out, we go to weddings, we're dancing.
by the way,
Yeah,
the
like
two of them
it's been
are more friends than me at weddings.
it's been
I don't want to invite them out. Like 3 or 4 weddings we've gone for. I don't know.
yeah,
So
like
this is the funny thing. At weddings, you expect that I'll be the one that will be like, eh. But these two people, first time I invited them out, they were like best friends. First of all, sitting down in the same corner,
Shout out to
checking the person's phone.
Yano.
I'm like, how? All of a sudden, two of them are
oh my
dancing, doing
gosh,
videos.
yeah.
I'm like, why am I not in the video? I'm the
We
common
have
factor.
pictures now, so I mean, like we're also like learning all of that. Of course, like even before, like from the very beginning, I always knew that there was a Ian in the picture. But I just never realized that there will come a point in my time that I'll be feeling like, no, you don't like. No, friendship will humble you. Friendship will make you seem like you don't know what to do. Like, people keep saying, "I was a needy person. I don't feel myself." Like, so what's the issue? So yeah, I think that's something I'm also learning that more there's the whole love languages thing with friendship that will change as time go on. You get to see yourself, and I think it's even good because now I can even translate that to my marriage, and it wouldn't feel very awkward for me to say certain things to my husband because I've been doing this with this person. So yeah, just wanted to add to that.
Yeah, and the last thing I wanted to add is
Miss Kenny, I have a question.
okay.
Miss Kenny, because I don't know if you guys if you asked the question or if it was touched on because my network was a bit iffy.
Okay.
Forgiveness, how you guys handle forgiveness, like when how you handle forgiveness. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like so when there's hurt, what's your process of forgiveness? Because like sometimes it's easier to forgive someone who's not close to you, but when
Oh, yeah.
someone is close, you
Oh,
expect them to
yeah.
know better. There's that thing
Expectations.
of I expect you to know better. Why would you do that kind of thing? So I want to ask that: how do you guys handle forgiveness
Okay,
and
so I
timing of
guess,
forgiveness?
and what?
Like, how do you handle hurt and how do you? What's your process of forgiveness?
Oh, great. So I'll speak for myself and then of course I'll let Toby speak for herself because I guess we handle it differently. We might have similarities, but we handle it differently. So Toby is an overthinker, right? Like when I mean like Toby replays if what you did was a movie, the CD will crack. After it's cracked, it will now break. I'm a And I want to help you understand how we process forgiveness, because it also comes, the first thing is understanding both your personalities. Because for me, I move on quickly from issues. I don't have time. And that I don't have time is like I don't care to somebody like Toby. But for me, it's more like if I sit on the issue, when you've moved on, I'm still there. I'm coming from a place where I've dealt with malice. Like, I enjoy malice. So I want to malice you to the point, no, God forbid. I used to, my past life, before Jesus saved me. For me, it's like, in my mind, I'm like, until I do my own back, I've not rested. That's how I used to be. So I know that if I don't forgive easily, it's like an addict that says, if I take one sip of alcohol, I will not be tempted. I don't want to stay in that place for long. So let's talk about it now. Toby is let me give you second chance, third chance, fourth chance. Why Toby is giving you chances is piling up. But she does not know it's piling up. One day, you not kick cockroach. That is not related to your offense. Just cockroach, so that you understand how this is really like marriage. You not kick cockroach. And no, innocently, I'm like, let me help us to kill the cockroach. Just here. So I feel like you really, what did we carry? What did we throw? It's just cockroach I did for us. You now begin to tell me that I did this, I did this. That will now annoy me. This is how we used to be. It's not annoying because I'm like, what the hell? How have we been friends for 6 months? And you're telling me something I did 6 months ago. So you kept it in your mind. Another session, you've been faking the friendship. You have been lying to me. He told me, you say you are deviating from the point. That is not the point. God. This to navigate those times. It was a madness, to be honest. Many times, like she said, our pastors had to call us and sit us down. Are you both normal? What's the problem with both of you? Why? What's the issue? It was very hard. So what I first had to realize was Toby would always overthink an issue. As much as she would try, it's her nature. And I had to make peace with that. So what I do now is I give room and space. As much as I've moved on, it's okay for me to come back and talk about it a month later, 2 weeks after. And the moment I started giving room, she started to overthink less. So sometimes I have to be the bigger person, not bigger person, I have to be the first person to make a move if I'm in a better situation. I used to feel like, why should I be the one to make a move? But it's okay for you. It doesn't make you less that you are the one sacrificing this time. There will be times where Toby would also sacrifice. Because forgiveness can never be true if somebody's not making the first move. It doesn't make me dumber. It doesn't make me the one that is less seen. It doesn't mean she's higher than me or better than me. We're equals always. We're on the same playing field. Like I said, the issue we're fighting is the thing that happened. It's not Toby. So Toby says, oh, you said this and did this. And I just felt like, there was a time where, she had said that I disrespected her as my choir leader. And how she said it to me rubbed up very wrong. And I just went off. And as I went off, of course, she went off her. So I will now come back and we have to sing on like a Sunday together. And I was supposed to bless people and receive from each other, which is very, very tricky. And, we're fighting demons inwardly. So what I do is I note down that something has happened. I move on from it, but I wait for her to get to the point where she wants to talk about it. And sometimes what I do is I tell her, do you want to talk about this now? And when she says no, I tell her, great, when do you want to talk about it? Because if I say, let me leave it, Toby may not talk about it again for the next 1 year. So I say, when do you think you'll be okay? What that does is it also puts her in a time space where she actually has to face her emotions. And because Toby is not confrontational, like she will run from anything that has to do with talking. No, let's not talk. God has forgiven all of us. God has healed our hurts. Let's move on. So for me, I started creating room and I started creating these scenarios in my head, And what I do is when she upset, like when I enter the house today now, and I saw I kid you not, my coping mechanism is the first thing I run to is a memory in my mind. I call it a box of sweet memories. Oh shit. I tell you, will laugh. So you cook for me, you get me jollof rice and plantain. Oh, wow. I'm serious. Because it was here. The plate was there. So she cooked for me as if I was working. Our work was very tedious. I'm a friend in that she will serve me. I now go back to that moment. But when she cooked for me, so I can forgive her for disarranging the house. And it was funny because what happens is when I go to a happy moment, I start laughing. All of a sudden, the offense is not that much of a big deal any longer. Because I'm sitting in the same house and I did not die. We are doing the live. None of you know that the house is disappearing. I pick a nice corner that is I cover our secret. Because it's both of our secrets. Do you understand? And before I'll be like, my house, my house. You know, it's not my house again. It's our house. So it's okay if she scatters it. It's our house too. That's why I say I leave it. We arrange
Because
it.
I will arrange it.
Do you understand?
Please mention when I arranged it.
Sha.
I cleaned it.
Oh, no, let
I'm
go.
not saying that. It's okay.
I say you do lazy. Don't be looking for place.
Guys.
So literally, when I'm hurt, I note it down. Because if I say I've moved on, until I'm a talk person. Until I talk, I cannot move on. That's the problem. If I say I move on, it's a lie. I'm still hurting. I have to talk because that's the only way that I can express the pain on my inside. So I keep it. I have to, and she had to get to the point where she understood that my talking is not to make you feel bad. My talking is not because I want to, because I can talk. No, like I need it. The way you silence is a need for you. Talking about it is a need for me. If I don't talk about it, it festers. The enemy would spill lies to me, would expatiate it. Something that's very tiny will become very big. Once I talk about it and you tell me that's not how it is, that's another thing. I take her words, hold her. I don't know what other English word to use. Like if she says that's not what I meant, I don't think it twice and say, what if that's really what she meant, but she's lying? If she says that's not what I meant, I believe. That's why I said I trust. I believe her that that's not what she meant. Because other times, what she meant is what she meant. So if just one time she says that's not what I meant, I should not have the same energy and believe. So I listen also. That's another thing in forgiveness. If you're going to forgive, you have to be able to hear the person beyond their words. You have to hear their hearts. So when we're resolving issues, I don't hear her words as much. I hear her heart more than I hear her words. That way, I'm not dissecting everything she says. And so, do you mean, so is what you're trying to say? I hear her heart. So if she's saying, at the moment, I didn't think it was a big deal. I'm not hearing, I didn't think what happened was a big deal. I'm hearing, I didn't take it as seriously as you're taking it or you took it. And I'm sorry that it came off that way. So you have to translate and hear the person's heart more than you're hearing their words for me, right? That's what helps me. It helps me navigate offenses, hurt. So it's easy to forgive. So one, I always talk. She's gotten to a place where she understands that. Two, I create a lot of room for her. Sometimes she will say, we may have 3 issues to talk about. She's like, I only have energy for 2 today. Great. Talk about those 2. Take the last one when she's at that point where we can talk about it, right? So it's just that I create room for her. I create room for myself. I communicate. I think the headline is communication. I communicate. Make sure you are responding to my communication. And in 1 month's time, if you still pinch me, I tell her, Toby, I just remember that thing. Go do Misha, and we'll laugh about it. So it's like the longer it stays, the less hurting or the less effect of the hurt. Abi? Yeah. So if you still deal, there'll still be would I say leftovers, sprinkles here and there of that thing that happened. But the effect will start losing. Will start losing effect. It won't have as much till it becomes something that you guys laugh about. See this thing we're laughing about now. If you put know the amount of hey, let me just be quiet and be going. That we used to get to this point. Bad those on many levels. Sister, the floor is yours.
Okay, so I think she already gave like details based on.
Toby, we
I
can't
think,
hear you as well.
wow. Can you hear me now? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Mic check 1, 2. Can you
Yes,
guys hear
we
me?
can hear you now.
Okay, so I said that she gave like a foundation based on my personality and all of that. But I think one of the things I'm grateful for this year is learning to process. So again, with friendships, you also I mentioned love languages earlier. Also, sometimes you get to learn the way that they handle issues. Like I think one of the things that I've been very intentional about this year in particular has been to talk about it, even if it's not that day, but at least not to let it pass. So first and foremost, in the area of forgiveness, so I always think about who she is. So there's this thing in my head that I know, not in my head, that I know that Uma would not intentionally hurt me. So each time there is an issue, right? No matter how painful it is, and of course, I'm already creating the scenarios in my head. But again, I'm remembering who this person is because, again, because of that trust, I trust this person. So I know that no matter in that moment, it could have happened, but it's not something that would be intentional. So what I want to do is, so what I now do is, because I know it's not intentional, I want to see it from her perspective. So sometimes when I send her a message, I'm like, okay, this is how it looks like. Oh. It's like this is how it looks like. However, I want you to tell me how it is from your own perspective. And then when she shares, and I can see that, okay, all of a sudden, like it just fizzles out because now I've seen it from her own perspective. And really, I've also used that for other friendships as well, whereby I want, because I'm realizing that I'm the one suffering. If I'm not talking about it, I'm the one in pain. I was like a hole that I can't come out of. So it's a case of I've prayed about this, and I'm talking about, I've prayed about it, where I'm like, okay, forgiveness is actually has used to be an issue for me. Come on now. Like when people hurt me, I hold on to it, and I brood on it, and I brood on it until I sink in it, and literally I cannot function. I'm just there in darkness. So I had to get to the point where I'm like, Auntie, this thing, you cannot go on like this. So I actually prayed about it. Like, God, I've been praying prayers of my heart for as long as I can remember in my journal. Lord, help my heart, create in me a new heart, and renew a right spirit within me. And to God be the glory. I can't even lie. This year, forgiveness has been the easiest for me than in a very long time. I mean, this thing that happened yesterday when she posted something that I wasn't happy about, it didn't pinch me. Well, maybe she apologized. Literally, like when you're looking for the hurt, I couldn't find it. Like it was literally gone. For me, prayer is number one. Then number two, knowing the person, that this person will not intentionally hurt me. And really, that has been like the two major things that have helped me with dealing with forgiveness. Like maybe if she does something, no. Like those two things, I can't take the glory. And even beyond Boma, because I'm looking at all the misunderstandings I've had with people. Now I'm quick to want to, let's talk about it. I'm quick. So somebody does something to me, rather than want to, I'm sending a message that, okay, this is what I saw. So what I'm learning is, again, I'll say it again, I said it before, this is how it looks like to me. But I want to know how I want to know, just tell me the story based on your perspective. Because sometimes, you know how the devil can heighten certain things and make it look like a mess. So I want to know what you were thinking when you did this thing. Perhaps I cannot see it. So help me see it. Do you understand? And so that has really helped. I've noticed that whenever I ask for that perspective, it really helps. Because when the person now tells me, and I realize that this person is not evil. Really, this person, because that's how the devil paints it in my mind.
Don't be thinking you're a monster.
An evil thing to me, and you must die. But now I'm realizing that the devil is a bastard. So now just show me how this is. So I'm really thankful. Yeah, forgiveness. That one. I was thankful in December that Lord has turned my life.
When you give thanksgiving to God, add me to the thanksgiving. But it's me that thinks you. It's me.
There's nothing in my heart.
It was a good question. Yeah. To go back.
Yes, it was. And that was also those were good answers. Boy, I should go and collect change for my secondary school, because why is my English doing like this?
All of us.
English is not our mother tongue. We borrowed it. It's okay.
Even Yoruba, if I should start speaking,
no, don't go there. Let's stick to English. Let's just stick to English, please.
Anyway, I can speak. Let's just calm down. Thank you, guys. Those were good answers. Thank you for, I'm so grateful. Thank you for being real, telling us as it is, bringing us into your experiences, helping us connect. It actually feels like, I can relate, and I'm pretty sure that it's the same for, everybody here on the call. Thank you so much. Shout out to Mrs. Comfort. Thank you for all the support, all the cheers. Thank you for your questions. Thank you. Shout out to Yanolua, what will I call her now? The best friend too.
The
To
best
the
friend.
best friend, to the best friends. We are all best friending together now.
Shout out. Thank you for coming to support your friends. Love to see it.
Oh,
And
she
thank
really
you
knows
to
hola.
everybody. Thank you to Mininu. Thank you, Jesolono. Thank you, Luatoni.
Oh,
Oh,
baby's
my name
here.
Thank you, Fee Follower. Thank you, Busayo. Thank you guys
My
so,
baby.
so, so much.
Oh,
I mean, I wish we could take more
baby.
questions.
Yeah.
I'd
Oh,
say
that.
that if you have more questions, you can put them
Yeah.
in the chat. I mean, it's a series. We're definitely going to have Boma to back, whether they like it or not. That's a yes. See, thank you.
Oh, be
See,
nice.
Joby's face. It's a setup. You can't get out of it. It's a setup.
You're
But
doing
yeah, we're
well.
definitely love it. Thank you. But yes, we're definitely going to have you guys back. Like it's been amazing, and we didn't even scratch the surface. I have so much questions,
Wow.
but it's like as you were speaking, it kept leading to more, and that's how these things are. So one session cannot do it. I mean, maybe we'll do like 5, maybe. But anyway, I'm not scaring you. Calm down, calm down. Thank you guys so, so, so much. So, so grateful. Thank you for coming. Thank you to our guests. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for making us laugh. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for sharing so much insight. Thank you for filling our hearts with your experiences and even backing it up with the word of God. Thank you so much. God bless you. So at this point, everyone, we're going to draw the curtain and call it a night here. I wish you all a blessed week and go out and be better friends. Um go out and spread this friendship. What we've touched tonight. We're going to, like I said earlier, this is a buffet. We're going to dissect everything. So, guys, follow us on our social media page at the School of the Bride on Instagram. We're going to be dissecting everything this week. The conversation will keep going, okay? So, yeah, thank you guys so much and good night from here. Bye, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.